What's up? My name's Gregg Barsby and welcome to another edition of 60-Second Blitz from Innova. This question is from the Bob Ring. Biggest change you've seen on tour since the beginning of your career? That is a loaded question. Biggest change. I mean, there's a few really big changes. It's hard to pinpoint just one. I think the big change is how many people are on tour nowadays. Seems like there's almost 100 of us out here now. Back when I first started in 2007 on tour, I think there was about a dozen of us, maybe 15 in and out. But as far as like, 3-4 month tour, I think there were only, about maybe a dozen. So that's probably the biggest change. A lot more top players, a lot more talented players hitting the road and putting their heart and soul into the game and, making a go of it. And it's been really great to see the competition level be pushed. I think that kind of migrates into that with the amount of talent that's out here now. So I would say that that's probably my answer. Texas DG Adventures asks, what angle release do you put on a brand new Eagle in the woods? Whatever the shot calls for. That's it. You have to buzz me on that one. Oh, man. Ethan_Stelter asks, what's your favorite kind of soap? Soap's really not my bag, you know what I'm saying? Like, keep it pretty dirty on tour. But one thing I do use is Monet. I use that for all my hair care products. Really high quality stuff. It's really concentrated and, in my opinion, it's the best stuff. My hair feels the best when I use the Monet. I used Tresemme for a while, wasn't cutting it. So went to the Monet and here we are. I use that also for my face wash. So I guess you could call it soap, but it's more like mud that I just rub on my face. Real nice product. This is not a sponsored video. This is not a sponsored ad. I'm just letting the people know. Monet for me. I'm not accepting any Pert Plus. We're not doing VO5 at the hotel. I'm not doing it. I'm bringing the Monet with me. I put it in my check bag. So, Jostein Holland asks, play some drums at PCS Sula Open presented by Innova. Well, if you bring a double kick pedal, I'm not playing single kick pedal drum set. You better get a nice set of cymbals. I need at least 8-9 cymbals so I can hide my lack of talent in sound. Yeah, I would love to. RVK Disc Golf from Reykjavik asks, what's my personal best BPM on the double kick? I don't know for sure, but I'll bet you it's right around 230 beats per minute, 240 beats per minute, 16th notes. So, I don't get to play my drums as much as I'd like. Hopefully in the near future I'll get on them more and more, but as the tour kicks off, I can't bring my drum set on tour. It won't fit in the van. This guy asks, best way to beat in a disc on a time crunch. From this guy right here. My answer is easy. Find a friend who throws discs really hard. First and foremost, find somebody that throws hard and maybe isn't the most talented. You want to have this guy spraying all over the place. What you need, I could say, yeah, go throw it into a wall or just slide it on concrete, but that's not going to get you that natural beat in. You need someone chucking this thing, but you don't have the time to do it. So what I would do is I would go find a friend who throws really hard and isn't very good to go to a wooded course and throw it on every hole for about a week. I don't know what your time crunch is. Are you talking a week out, a month out? Like what's your, you're talking in 5 minutes. But if you have at least a week, give it to a guy and just be like, yo, I need you to rip this thing. If you like it, I'll get you a brand new one. That's what I would do. Innova Kane asks, will your Tour Series Eagle make me elite like you? Can we at least pretend? I don't pretend that I'm elite, like I just throw this thing. I think yes, though. I think the answer is yes. I mean, these are the best. It's not one better than the new Eagles. It's really hard to say that there's a better disc than this. Like, people are gonna say whatever they want. People are finicky, This is it. This is the end of the story. The story ends here. This is the disc. And yes, it'll make you elite. I don't know why you thought I was elite, because I'm just one of the guys out here. I'm just throwing discs. That's kind of how I like to keep it. But if you're talking about elite shot making, Tour Series Eagle. Katrina Lang 1 asks, how to improve putting? I putt every day, 300 putts, but I wouldn't say that putting improves. Well, Katrina, I think the most important thing to take from this is the quality of practice that you're putting in, the quality of the repetitions that you're putting in, and really trying to break down and focus on some small specific goals that you want to accomplish. I think that putting in the motions is just fine, especially for warming up, or if you want to just make sure that your arm and your swing is nice and true. But really try to delve a little deeper and focus on the pace of your putt, exactly kind of where you're bringing it down. You could focus on a few different things, but just kind of isolate them, right? Like your stance, isolate your stance and really feel yourself becoming comfortable. And then what pace do you putt the best at? Some of us putt better when we're a little quicker. There's other guys that have a real slow, deliberate draw and then a forward release. So I would try to pinpoint a couple things that you can work on and just focus on the small stuff, and the big stuff will take care of itself. NCA_Red Star asks, if you had to choose between a forehand or backhand during a tournament, what would you go with? Well, there's a few different variables that I would have to bring into account. First of all is the wind. What's the wind doing? Secondly, what is the landscape that I'm playing on, right? Because specific situations call for a different shot. Now, if I have a drop off to the right, chances are I maybe don't want to throw the forehand because it wants to tail off to the right and it might get down the drop. Then on the other hand, if I hang my backhand a little too wide, it might hit that drop and roll down. So those are things you kind of have to make adjustments on the fly and just make it your best judgment call. Sometimes there's no right way to throw the shot. If you can do them both ways, just choose the one you're more comfortable with. A lot of times I'll choose if I'm feeling the forehand that day, I might just stick to the forehand. Or if I've got the right piece in the backhand, or if the wind changes and I have to switch. My main thing is to just trust my instinct and just try to make the best shot possible. Ethan KC2 asks, are you still amazing at telling the iron leaf story? Yes, of course. I'm the best at it. That's like one of my only talents, is to tell that story. Like, I'm not out here to play good golf. I'm out here to make people laugh. I'm out here to get a rise out of people. Like, who cares about my wallet, I'd rather just, have fun and just party the whole time. Like, that's totally me, I think that some people don't know that I have a serious side too, right? They just want to hear the iron leaf story. And I'm like, like 12 years old, man. Gotta feed the dogs. That's what it is. So this guy right here asks, how long does it take you to really beat in a Roadrunner and have it fly or roll the way you like? Again, right, I have usually two different rollers depending on situations, right? One that'll flip a little earlier, one that'll hold a little bit longer. For the ones that hold longer, I usually need about 3 weeks. Give me 3 weeks of throwing a disc. I try to throw it at least, if I'm playing rounds, let's go ahead and average it at 4 rounds a week, 5 rounds a week. If I can throw it at least 5 times each of those rounds, that'll get me over 100 reps on it and a nice little wear in. At that point, now I start trying to get it over into the roller and see if I have to beat it up anymore or if it's good to go. So Roadrunner's pretty standard roller disc for me. Doesn't take me too long. Evan_Uray, sorry if I botched that. He asks, what was your first tournament? Any advice for some looking to play their first tournament? I guess my advice would just be to have fun. You go and test your skills. I mean, that's all you're doing. And you want to go and push yourself. Obviously, there's a competitive element with other players, but really you're just out there testing your skills and what you can do. My first tournament was the 1997 Sierra Shootout in Grass Valley, California. And I played in novice. And I think I was right in the middle of the pack. They didn't have a juniors division, so I went to novice. Beat a couple of them. It was grinding. I was 12-year-old on the grind out there. I was putting in the work. I think I was throwing like a sniper. Remember the old Ching disc? The old sniper. I think that was Innova molded too. Pretty dang sure it was. It's a real throwback. Good question. Weiss Baden _disc_golf_ just look over there. He asks, best disc for distance for relatively new players. Roadrunner. Roadrunner, Roadrunner. Exactly the reason why I chose that disc. Super easy to throw. Like, if you're looking for distance and you're new, what you'd want to do is kind of like take a step back from the destroyers, right? Like, the first car that you got wasn't a Corvette, was it? Or like a supercar. You have to kind of learn, you know, get you in a Volkswagen Jetta, get you going, you know, something like that. Roadrunner's nice, consistent, neutral disc for long distance shots. It's a 9-speed. Definitely pick one of those up. Henry.Schlebach, he doesn't even ask this, he just says it. Eagle. Yes, 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 yes. That is what I'm talking about. That's the kind of attitudes I'm looking for out here. Eagle. That's right. Now, I don't know if he's talking about the player. I don't know if he's talking about the disc. I'm guessing he's talking about the disc because, I mean, this is obviously more popular than the Eagle, the disc golfer. Like, I mean, it's been around longer, you know. It was born earlier. It's different. It's a different breed, dude. They don't make them like that anymore, you know. Kevin.AKC asks, are you still throwing a Banshee? Right now, I am not, but I have them. They're waiting in the wings. Rasanen Miro? I don't know. This guy asks, how did I form my putting style? Good question. I think it just happened from necessity. I was having too many 3-putts with a traditional spin, and I kind of molded my putt after Jeff Lissman, Barry Schultz. Those were kind of two of the main guys I molded mine after. A couple legendary Hall of Famer disc golfers. Both very effective at what they did in different ways, and I just tried to kind of put that in a bag and get a little bit more consistency and a little bit less danger if I do miss. Something that falls right by the basket. That way I'm not 3-putting back and forth. I think I had lost some tournaments by a couple strokes, and I thought back to the 5 3-putts I had, and you know, it starts hurting your feelings. You start losing the tournament, man. You're just like, oh, all you gotta do is lay it up. So that's kind of how my putt started to form, and it took me a while to get there, but you know, I'm pretty comfortable with my putt, and I'm working in a new one. This year you might see a little bit of that. Big thanks to everybody for sending in these questions. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and big thanks to Innova and all my awesome supporters. I love you guys. Thank you.